know I don't joke with it. Girl, it's in a game now. Anytime that you need to get a heat of my love, baby, say my name, yeah. And I'll be right there if you need me. Say the word anytime you need me. And even if I...
What's up everyone, I'm Roxy.
And I'm Paris.
And if you're new to our channel, we are so happy to have you here, and if you've always been here, then welcome back. So in today's episode of Study Sunday, we'll be sharing with you some time organization hacks.
So these are really easy to follow and you can incorporate them into your life right now so you can stop wasting any time.
But before we share with you our time organization secrets, don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Twitter and Snapchat. They are popping up on the screen. You don't want to miss out on all the behind the scenes.
And also don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you won't miss anything. And if you are already subscribed, just make sure that red button is still clicked, since YouTube has been unsubscribing people and we don't want that.
Yeah. So now let's get into this episode of Study Sunday.
So tip number 1 is to just set aside one day to just observe everything that you're doing on that day. So we want you to do this so you can see where you spend most of your time. So just keep a time log of everything you do. So see how much time you spend scrolling, how much time you spend eating, and just write everything down so that you can look back on it and see where most of your time is spent so that you can organize it after.
So by observing what you do for one full day, it can make you realize that you may be overspending your time or wasting your time doing something totally unnecessary, whereas you can actually be putting it to good use instead. So the second tip is to plan your day, and you know how we are with planning. Planning really helps you to get everything that you need to get done. So you either spend 30 minutes before you actually start your entire day, or if you're a night person, take 30 minutes before you go to sleep to plan out what you have to do for the next day. By having a daily plan, you will make sure that you're focusing on what needs to be focused on, what you need to get done immediately, instead of just wasting time and not having any direction on what you actually have to do. This will also make sure that you don't get distracted easily and you won't be procrastinating and taking forever to do something that you can actually do in like an hour.
So tip number 3 is to actually organize your day firstly into 2 huge blocks: what you need to do and what you want to do. And when this is done, you can then prioritize each list. But when you actually know what you need to do and what you want to do, you can get everything that is urgent done right away and put those things at the top of your list, and then see how you can schedule in time for things that you actually want to do that day. So this is just going to give you an idea of what's urgent and what you need to prioritize for that day. And this just makes your day so much more efficient.
So the fourth tip is to time block your day. And by this we mean to divide your day into chunks of time that you allocate to complete certain tasks. So for instance, if you have to study math, you want to allocate about 2 to 3 hours to do that and just stay really focused within that time period. Likewise, if you are eating, you can probably set your timer for 30 minutes. If you want to take a nap, you can set your timer for an hour. Time blocking is really effective because it makes sure that you don't go overboard doing one activity when you can actually move on and spend time on something else.
And don't forget, you can always use a timer to do this because we just think it's so much more fun that way. So just purchase an inexpensive one, or you can just use your timer on your phone and it will help you so much with time blocking your activities.
Yeah, because when the alarm goes off, you'll know it's time to stop and to move on to the next activity.
Tip number 5 is to start saying no. And I mean, this sounds a little selfish, but it's so true. Like, if you want to do something during the day and you have a set number of activities to complete, you can't say yes to everybody. So if your friends or your family keep asking you to go out and do this and that, you have to tell them, hey, look, I have these things that I have to do and I have to get them done. So then you can set aside time to do whatever they want after, but just make sure you prioritize and get everything done, and don't be afraid to say no.
So the sixth tip is to actually work on the go, and by that we mean there's a lot of dead time, which is basically like time that you take when you're driving, when you're traveling, when you're waiting in lines, when you're waiting for an appointment. Some people might think that you might just have to just wait and do nothing, but instead you can actually maximize your time and be really productive by listening to lecture notes, listening to a podcast, taking your textbook with you to read while you're waiting, anything like that, because you never know within those chunks of time how much things you can actually accomplish.
So the last tip that we have for you for organizing your time is to check in with yourself at the end of the day to see how you did. So look at the list of activities you had during your plan for that day and see how much stuff you got done. And if you didn't get a lot of stuff done, then you can look back in your day and see the reasons why this happened so that you can actually make improvements for the future.
Okay, so that is a wrap for this episode of Study Sunday. We really hope that you enjoyed it and that you got some ideas on how to organize your time more efficiently and effectively.
So don't forget to give this video a huge thumbs up and make sure you subscribe on your way out so you won't miss anything.
Also, don't forget to check out our last video, which is on this side of the screen. We know you're gonna love it and we know you're gonna want to watch it.
So thank you so much for watching, and
we'll see you in our next video. Bye!
Mwah.